You're watching the Battered Fans Network.
The heroes are back. Beards talking balls, rapping pink and black. Coming live from the 305, it's official tissue. The Batter Fan, Chris and Dan, weekly rocking with you. We talk Messi, Boosie, Jordy, Lucho, the Fat Four, to Ben Cram, Noah, Ruiz, Fred. What more could you ask for? Tighten up and get ready, listen in on the pod. Solana and X in Espanol, just to even the odds. Breakdowns and gas bagging, join the tribe and just vibe. Free 99, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't hesitate, say what's up, go ahead and come in. No question about it, I'm ready to get hurt again.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Well, Chris isn't here. I don't know where he's at, but he'll be here soon. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 381 of the Battered Herons podcast. I am your host, Daniel Ganana, and alongside me will eventually be Mr. KBD. But we got what we figured. The 80% that Chris predicted didn't come to fruition, unfortunately. A 4-0 loss, not as bad as Inter Milan. So we got that going for us. Atletico Madrid also lost 4-0. This is considered the best club in the world. It showed, and I thought that the second half was much better, obviously, than the first half. And it, I mean, 4-0. Yeah, I mean it sucks, but I think a lot of people expected it to be a lot worse, especially with that two of those goals, one being an own goal, the other one being just another boneheaded, unmarked man in a set piece, which is something that we constantly have been seeing throughout the season. And unfortunately, it reared its ugly head in this game, and way too early, because I felt like as soon as that first goal went in, I saw a lot of people talking online, and just in general, I thought even maybe the players, that was a little demoralizing, right? Because you figure you can kind of hold that low block, keep them off the score sheet for a while, and hope that you can get a counter here or there. But first 5 minutes or so, they scored, and it kind of just took the wind out of our sails. But all in all, the second half, I think, was much better. And there goes Mr. KBD, Mr. 80%. How are you doing, sir?
80%. 80%.
80% didn't work out for me.
No, your mic is off also. No, 80% did not work out. And if anybody that was going into this game, and look, and I appreciate Chris's optimism and a lot of people that were saying it, but if anybody really came into this game expecting us to win, it was hopeful. It wasn't impossible, but you knew this is the best team in the world as of right now at the moment. Right? They won the biggest trophy that there is for clubs in the Champions League just less than a month ago. And they're a deep team. So you kind of knew that this was going to happen, and you saw it. The way that they were pressing us, we couldn't get the ball in our own half for a large part of that first half, you know. And then in the second half, I think they let the foot off the accelerator a little bit, because they stopped pressing as much, and we opened it up a lot more. And since we opened it up, they probably could have put a couple more on our heads if they would have been a little more cutthroat. And then somebody saying, "See, Danny, where's black for the funeral?" No, actually. And shout out to at 1314925-ish for the Super Slam. The reason I'm wearing this kit, and I'll tell you right now, the reason I'm wearing this kit, this is the first kit from 2020. No sponsor, nothing. This is the first kit. If you would have told me in 2020, when I was wearing this kit to a half-empty stadium at Chase Stadium, or at the point, I don't even think it was Drive Pink yet. If you would have told me that 5 years later, we'd be playing a knockout game, a game that matters against the best team in the world, Paris Saint-Germain, I'm sorry. I would have been like, wow, we're on the map. Like, I understand that we lost. We still got a long way to go as far as world relevancy, as far as being competitive with the rest of the world. That's a big deal for this club. This club played a game. Thank you, Lockhart. No, actually, it was Lockhart before Inter Miami. It was back in the Fusion days. But like I was saying, that's a big deal. This team played a very big game. Obviously came up short, like most of us expected. But that's a big deal to be matched up against these teams in a knockout stage. You made it out of your group, which was what we said was the goal. I understand that right now, recency bias, it feels a lot worse because you lost, obviously, right? And you lost 4-0. You got shut out. I was hoping that Messi would hit down that free kick towards the end of the game, the 85th minute or whatever it was. But we expected to lose. We expected to lose, and that's okay. I'm proud that this team made it out of the group. I love that we are on the world stage. I love that we didn't let 5 get put on our heads like Inter Milan did. Shout out to Mr. Steve Munoz. And you know what? Atletico Madrid lost 4-0, and I don't see anybody dancing on their grave, so I wouldn't dance on ours.
Well, I mean, nobody really expected anything other than myself with 80%. 80%. But look, in all honesty, like you could see the class on this team. PSG just outclassed us. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And listen, this is kind of what money gets you. You know, if there's anybody that gets the que pena, I think it's going to be the MLS today, because the fact that we're limited with resources in terms of being able to obtain good quality players. Not saying that the players on this team aren't quality, but it would have helped to be able to have a deeper roster to work with. It would have been helpful to have better quality players, I guess. I don't know.
Well, to be fair, in the MLS, because you are restricted by salary caps, the way the MLS model usually works is that you spend all your money on the attack and the least amount of money on your defense. That's why so many MLS defenders are poor.
Yeah.
So you put a subpar defense, which is, we can all agree, are the weakest part of our team.
Yeah.
And then you put it up against the best team in the world. I mean, you have to expect this to happen, right?
Dennis Lopez is saying, I missed the game. Listen, you didn't miss much. I mean, we have
the second half was fun. I mean, look, I knew that we weren't gonna. I wanted to go. That's what I wanted. I wanted to go. I predicted 3-1. I was hoping that we would get one. I was really annoyed that they got that fourth one right before the half. But I thought a 3-1 scoreline would have been respectable.
Well, and not only that, but at least we had more than 30% of possession. We had 33 possession in this game.
That's because of the second half, I believe.
Yeah, the second half we were on one. I mean, that's considering that we weren't really on it, right? Like,
well, it's because I think PSG took their foot off the gas a little bit. They weren't pressing as high. They were letting us progress the ball a little more, and we also decided to be a lot more aggressive because we said, well, at this point, we're gonna lose, so might as well try to get 1 or 2 in. And so I think that it was a combination of both those things as why we held more possession in the second half and why we looked a little bit more dangerous.
Yeah.
And then for this person right here, Kevin Don, is Messi still going to renew his contract? Yes. He is still going to be here. He'll be here next year. I don't know about 2027, but yeah, he'll be here next year.
I mean, look at what is this? Hernandez saying, guys, this was a gentleman's agreement between both coaches.
I mean, the second half is what maybe he's probably referring to. Maybe.
I mean, I guess. I feel like Inter Miami legitimately played better in the second half. Like,
well, because they played football.
Yeah.
In the first half, this is the starting line. Well, I guess let's go through this really quickly. Atmosphere. Yeah. The stadium looked not full, not empty, but definitely not full.
12 o'clock in Atlanta, Georgia is not the best time.
No, not just that. It's that they shouldn't sell the top of the bowl if you don't think you're going to sell out. The thing is that FIFA, for some reason, thought that people care about clubs in this country. Like, in this country, if it's a national team and it's a big game, it'll sell out. But in Atlanta, on top of the fact that Atlanta fans aren't the biggest fans of Inter Miami fans because we have a little bit of a rivalry going there, they're not running out to watch Inter Miami. And who the hell's a Paris fan in Atlanta? So they're not going to go out there and fill up that stadium. Stop opening up the top of the bowl unless you know 100% it's going to be full. But the atmosphere, I mean, it wasn't dominated by PSG fans either. It was just football fans, I would assume.
Well, and shout out to TF Alves 90 with a super slam.
Boom.
As far as I'm concerned, we're the better Inter now.
Hey, those
by
are just
American math. That's how it works.
Those are just the facts. We lost 4-0. Inter Milan lost 5-0. I think we take ownership of that Inter name. I agree. Good.
Yeah.
Good comment. Good comment.
They should just name themselves Milan. That's it.
Well, the AC Milan's basically called Milan.
Yeah.
And
then general thoughts is we got outclassed. I think that's the fairest way to say anything in terms of this game. I don't think that there's really blame too much that you can put on specific players or whatever the case is. I feel like this is a different level of opponent.
General thoughts is this is what you should have expected from the start.
Well,
and I agree with PSG fan 17. I told you they took the foot off the gas in the second half. They weren't pressing as high. They were letting us progress the ball a little more. And I thought we could have gotten maybe one if Suarez doesn't take a bad first touch on a beautiful Messi lob into the box. There was a couple chances. But yeah, this is what we thought. We thought that PSG should win. I thought that they would win convincingly. The 3-1 scoreline that I predicted was what I thought would be the most positive of the results, because I thought maybe we get one off of a free kick, which I thought might happen in the 85th minute. When I saw Messi lining up for that, I was like, oh, please just get us one. And I thought that maybe we could keep them to 3. They got 4. That's okay.
Well, Cringe is saying time for the MLS again. We need to prep for Montreal, take what we learned and push. I feel like we're gonna have a really good run these next couple games, guys.
We'll see. I'm excited for the second half, because this is basically going to be the start of the second half of the year.
Well, let's get to the starting 11, Danny.
Yeah. Oh,
starting
and by the way, before I forget to mention, now that we're talking about the second half of the year, on Tuesday, we're going to be coming on for our 3-year anniversary. It will be 3 years from the first day we started this show on July 1st, 2022. It'll be July 1st, 2025, celebrating the 3-year anniversary. We're going to have a little blast from the past. We're going to have a special guest that will probably evoke some old school memories here locally. So make sure you tune in for our 3-year anniversary on Tuesday night. All right.
And shout out to 13419. All right. $5 Super Slam. MLS handicapped Messi's impact. Parity doesn't work globally. Money wins. Aging stars and weak youth development can't compete with top European clubs. And I'll try to get the name wrong. 1314925-ish.
Well, and that's why our goal is just to get out of the group stage, because the current state of the MLS and the way they set up their teams, it's obvious that we were undermanned. We probably shouldn't have gotten out of our group. If you're really looking at it, most people predicted that we would be in 4th place because Al Ahly spends a ton of money. Porto is usually one of the better teams in Europe. And then you have Palmeiras, which is a top team in Brazil. So getting out of there is what I would assume is what was the goal. And we reached that goal. It's just that it's the recency bias. We just lost 4-0. And some people they didn't convince themselves that they could win. But I think you convinced yourself that there was some hope. And that hope was kind of taken away from you in the first 5 minutes. And I think that's why people are feeling a little sour. But when you step back on Tuesday, when we look back at this over 48 hours from now, when we're celebrating our 3rd-year anniversary, and we look back at this, we're going to be like, you know what? That was a good showing. Of
course. And I mean, look, nobody expected too much out of us, but it was a good showing. So shout out to N. Tombim Zimango. First time watching. Much appreciated. I don't know if it's us or Inter Miami, but if it's both, even better. Oh, Danny gets the que pena. What?
What, for not realistic? For not believing? I'm a realist. I try my best when I come out here to be unbiased.
80%.
More than I can say about homeboy over here.
80%. So the starting 11, for those of you on audio, we got it posted up here. We got Ustadi in the goal. The back 4, Alba gets the start this time at left back. Allen plays left wing, left center back. Falcon plays right center back, and then Weigant plays the right back. We have the 4 in the middle. It's a 4-4-2 setup. Segovia playing left mid. Allende playing right mid, and then Busquets and Redondo at the pivot in the back, the double pivot, and then you got Luis Suarez and Messi up top, which it kept this shape for the most part during the game.
Yeah. Go ahead. You got a super slam.
Okay, all right. So we got what? Well, shout out to One World, One Goal, but here we go with the super slam. A Kung Jig. Well, at least y'all didn't lose by 5 like Inter Milan. MLS Moves is crashing out, asking for Garber's resignation. What? Atlanta fan Peter knows me. Shout out to you.
Oh, Peter Brown. Peter Brown.
Yeah, Peter Brown. Downtown Peter Brown got a show tonight, guys. Don't miss it.
Yeah, absolutely. 7:00. Make sure you tune in for that also. So real quick, so that was the starting 11. But in reality, for the first half, you see how they're lined up? I felt like this is what it looked like.
I
It
guess.
was two flat lines. Yeah, it was. They were defending, and then
Yeah,
they
the
got
whole
scored
time.
on that first goal. The first goal was really rough to watch because we've seen it now. If you haven't already, go back before the second half of the year starts next week. We made a video a couple weeks ago where we literally, copyrights be damned, we went ahead and we put out videos of every single goal scored on us. And there were a handful that were on set pieces of just men being unmarked, a lack of communication. And it showed again today. Why that happens, I don't know. Who would you blame? A lot of people were looking at Noah Allen, raising their arms, looking at Noah Allen because he didn't, I guess, peek behind them. But that man was unmarked by himself, just had to just play patty cake with the ball, just waited for it to land on his head and direct it to the far post.
I have a question though, Danny, because I wanted to get the image of this. Is it legal for an opposing player to box out Noah Allen?
No, he can't grab
to
him.
then
I saw that also.
allow the player that scored, because that's what happened.
Yeah, but that
Nieves scored because
he held them up a little bit. I saw that. He was holding.
that was a complete box out, dude.
Okay, but still, even if he wouldn't have been holding him, he didn't see the guy behind him. He still would have made it to the ball.
I don't know, man. That play
I don't know if that's on Noah Allen. I don't know if I would assume because he's the last man back there, it would be on him. But yeah, I did notice though on the replay that he was being held.
Juan de Oliveira, that wasn't a pick. He boxed him out.
But they kept picking him. They kept picking on all defenders. It was like basketball. They were running like dual drags. Like they were picking them and just getting players open.
But that looked illegal to me. The fact that didn't get looked at, but the thing is, I thought to myself, well, I'm just some schmuck that learned football like a couple years ago. But that didn't look legal. That box out.
Look, there's holding in the box always. That's never legal. It happens all the time.
But that's on a set piece. That's not random play. Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. On set pieces, we sit right behind the goal in our games. You see the way they grab and hug each other all the time. It happens all the time. So you can't point to that. He was by himself running freely. And it's always the back post. Always. I don't know what it is. Like nobody looks like, hey, anybody got that guy back there? Like it never happens. Like I said, if you haven't already, go back there and check out that video so you can see all the silly goals that we've given up.
Well, Thuck PC2D is saying starting Alba was a mistake.
It might have been.
Dude.
It might have been.
I think maybe putting him at the left wing would have been better. Maybe. I don't know. I think that would have been probably a better idea, or if not, just bringing him off the bench. But I felt like maybe Mascherano was like, we got to start all our big names. We got to start our big names.
And I can see.
I don't that are used to the pressure.
I don't blame him for that. But if our game plan, which was obvious the first half, was just to defend, then maybe Noah Allen at left back might have been a little better.
I don't know. I didn't feel comfortable with that first goal. Honestly, I thought that was a sham. I felt like the guy literally boxed out Noah Allen and just allowed. Yeah, Elizabeth, shout out to you with the 80%. Inter Miami till I die. Let's go.
She never said 80%.
Elizabeth, I'm sure Elizabeth said 80%.
Yeah. But look, it was unfortunate. It was definitely unfortunate. But it's just a boneheaded mental mistake. And I thought, although again, and I can't reiterate this enough, I never really thought that Miami had a good chance. I thought by some miracle they could pull something out, but I always thought PSG would find a way to win this game. Yeah. But I was hoping that we would go into the first half a little deeper with some hope. And for it to get just nullified that quickly off of a mental error really killed my mood. And I have a feeling it might have killed the players' mood also, because if you go in there with a game plan, like we're going to defend, we're going to keep them out of goal. And then you're like, all right, F it. Let's do this. This is what we're going to do, and this is going to work. And then that plan goes up in smoke in the first 5 minutes off of a set piece. That had to have been disheartening for a lot of the players.
This is a good question. Antonio Collado says, do we have any defenders left to resume MLS play? It feels like the entire Miami backline is hurt. I mean, we still got Ryan Saylor.
Well, luckily, Toto Avila's yellow card in this game doesn't carry over to the MLS. Count.
Yes.
Thank God. Because if we would have played against, if we would have beat PSG somehow today and we would have moved on, Toto wouldn't have been available either. Noah Allen, hamstring, so he's out for a little while. Like, who would it have been? David Martinez?
Not
Because
even.
he's
He's
with us.
done.
No, he's
Yeah,
with
but
us for another week, I think. Oh no, wait,
Is
it's
he?
the end of June,
No,
right?
it's like the first.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
the first. Like he's done
we have
on
nobody.
Monday.
Don't be surprised if you see Busquets at center back.
Wow. And then no Bright.
No, Bright might be back. Maybe Busquets at center back with Bright, with the double pivot of Bright and Redondo, which I wouldn't hate
Or
seeing.
Redondo and Kremaki. Because at least Kremaki's fresh, right? Like he's
If Bright isn't playing,
not injured. Yeah.
And then Ryan Saylor would be the option off the bench. Luckily,
right.
well, let me not say luckily, because Montreal somehow beat NYCFC yesterday. So maybe Montreal's finally figuring things out. But I mean, we're playing against Montreal, which is one of the worst teams in the league. Probably the only team that's worse than them is the Galaxy right now. So I'm not going to say 100%. I'm not going to say 80% we win, but I will say that, you should feel
80%.
happy that the very
80%.
first game to start the MLS season is against a team that should be much inferior to you in talent.
80%. I'll say it. So that was the first goal, Danny. In the second goal, we ended up getting scored on 39th minute, and it was Joao Nieves again. Now, as far as like how that goal occurred, what was it? Was that the rebound tap in, or I'm trying to remember what the play was, because like I was just so swamped.
I was gonna look them up, but you got to the second goal really quickly, so I didn't have a chance to look it up.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, I'll tell you, but before we talk about the second goal, I just want to say something. Okay. At PSG, the way that they push up and press the defense, I don't know what it is, but they are all over the place. Ustadi was smothered. Our defense trying to get the ball out of the back, smothered. It was a mess. We could have potentially potentially been scored on
Ustadi had a good
many
game.
times. Yes, he did. He had a good tournament. To be honest. Ustadi, to me, I don't know what it is, but like he almost got clipped on one of his kicks. Dude, the pressure in the back was wild. We just couldn't get the ball out. I mean, look, Juan de Oliveira is saying bigger, faster, stronger. I mean, I think it's just they have a little bit more. They have a little bit more confidence. Obviously, they're better players.
They're better.
They have more confidence in pushing up because they do have the speed. They're youthful, right? We have 130 MR says the GOAT Rocco would have not let those four in. Shout out to you, 130R. He probably wouldn't have. And then shout out to Cringe with the Super
80%,
Slam.
80%.
Cringe is saying, is there a transfer window opening up this summer? If so, who should we bring in? There is a transfer this summer, but
We'll get into
you know,
those
one of the broadcasters was mentioning the fact that we didn't make any moves before this Club World Cup, and we had an opportunity to get players or a player, and we didn't.
Look, my understanding is that it's because of the lack of time that we couldn't get things done in those 10 days. Look, we signed Baltasar Rodriguez in late February, early March, and he didn't play with us for like 2 months because of the visa restrictions, because we had to wait for his visa to come through. Like they said that the 10 days was unrealistic to get those players to signed and played.
Russ Bar is saying second goal was Busquets' mistake.
Was
which
that
I
the
believe
one where
it
he
was.
turned it over?
He was trying to get fancy with it, and then he lost the ball.
Turned it over. Okay, so that was it. Damn, it's making it so hard to find these highlights online. Yes.
Chris,
Okay, I remember that one.
Chris is saying my GOAT Robbie Robinson would have scored. Listen, I don't know, man. I would have taken whatever. I would have taken anything.
I thought Atael Allende had a chance to score with the header. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Yes, so Busquets had the ball. He was being pressed by, I forgot who it was that was pressing him up high, and he basically just lost the ball. And you figure that that's one of the players that you want to come out in one of those situations and not commit those type of errors, because you know that they're going to press you high, and then you worry about players like Toto Aviles, Falcon, even Noah Allen committing an error like that would cost you a goal. You don't expect and you hope that Busquets wouldn't be one of those players. But if Busquets, one of the players you're supposed to rely on, is coughing the ball up and making those type of mistakes in this situation, we're already outmanned and outclassed, then yeah, you really have no hope. So when Busquets lost the ball, led to that goal where it was basically just a tap in for Neves. And once it was 2-0, you know, at that point, what I wanted was just ring the bell, get to halftime. Like, let's get to halftime already. And unfortunately, that's not what happened. And they still had time to score some more.
Well, yeah, I mean, after that, we have that goal, right? And then after that, we basically have the Toto Aviles goal, the own goal. Now, that was coming off of a cross. It hit off of his sort of arm, his shoulder area, and it was literally because he pushed a player that almost had the opportunity to score. So realistically, I guess he pushed the potential scorer, and then he just didn't move out of the way on time. And then it became an own goal.
I know we're going to get into this later, but he said worst player way gone. Oof, man, I think just about anybody down that right side today would have looked bad. Like, think about any right back, and they would have looked really rough defending down that right side. So, yeah, he didn't look good, but I don't know anybody that would.
Well, Circus Fun wants to get in first here and say, let me be the first Mascherano out. I mean, we're going to have to ask that question later today before we end the show. Is this Mascherano out time? Because that's interesting.
You got out of the group in the Club World Cup. I'm pretty sure they just beat a European side, and they should have beat the Palmeiras side. No, I don't think that this would be a Mascherano out.
So we got the third goal scored on us, and then unfortunately, we just had 3-4 minutes extra in the half, and we end up getting scored on by Hakimi to end the fourth quarter. Literally in the dying ember. I mean, I'm the fourth quarter, the first half, ending the first half. And Danny, at that point, I was like, I don't want to get Auckland. I don't want to get Auckland.
That was that was definitely a fear. That was a fear.
I didn't want to get Auckland. I mean, the possession was already in their favor. They looked extremely dominant in the first half.
Yeah, you don't know. And I think that if they don't take the foot off the pedal, they score a couple more in the second half. But yeah, at the half, after that fourth goal, I'm disappointed. It's kind of what I expected, but I didn't expect 4 in the first half. But the fact that they scored those 3 within 5 or 6 minutes of each other was really rough. That own goal sucked. Busquets giving up that ball sucked. I mean, think about it. What are the first 3 goals? The first 3 goals are miscommunication. Somebody running free to get that easy header on that set play. So that's the first goal, which is unacceptable, shouldn't have been done. Second goal is Busquets uncharacteristically, or maybe we've seen it a little more this year than usual, losing the ball and leading to a counter and a tap-in. So that's a Busquets error. And then the third one was an own goal. I'm not saying that I'm taking anything away from PSG, because PSG was obviously the better team and they probably could have scored a lot more. But those 3 first goals were brutal, because those 3 first goals, you could say that they're all our fault. Like, they should have been prevented.
Tony Axe is saying, I didn't expect such sloppy defensive errors. They've been solid so far in CWC. You could tell after we started the game, after the third goal, the kick-in to start the game, like, I don't know who did the kick-in, but they just kind of nonchalantly just kicked it like, oh, we're getting destroyed. Like, you could see it just looked really poorly. So, yes, there was an own goal, Dennis Lopez. Yes. Aviles.
Yeah. It hit his arm, and then it deflected in. So, I mean, again, I can't take anything from PSG, because PSG was far and away a better team. They could have scored more, I think, if they really wanted to. But looking at the first 3 goals, again, don't take it away from PSG, because they forced some of those errors. But those first 3 goals were mistakes that Inter Miami made and almost shot themselves in the foot. Not marking a man in the back on that set piece. Busquets giving up that ball that led to that quick counter, and then an own goal. But again, I'm in no way insinuating that PSG wasn't the better team and that PSG wouldn't have scored more if they kept trying to press. But yeah, those first 3 goals were discouraging just because we let them in, and even more so because you kind of shot yourself in the foot on those 3.
Well, and I'll tell you, look, Ken Kaneki is saying, why are you even complaining? Bro is complaining as if Miami don't make these same mistakes every single game. It was really prevalent in this game, Ken. I mean, at the end of the first half, I'll tell you how I felt, Danny. At the end of the first half, before starting the second half, I literally got up from my couch, walked over to my kitchen. I'm like, I can't believe this. I cannot, but I literally was saying that out loud. I can't believe this. Like, it was
funny. I texted Chris like minute 15 and I go, still 80% question mark. And he didn't reply. He took a while to reply. And I am 100% sure because I know Chris very well. In his mind, he's like, ooh, Inter Miami scores. I'm going to reply 90% or some dumb crap like that. Like, he was dying to see if Miami could go ahead and just score one so they could tie it. But yeah, I sent him that text to 80%. It took him a while. It took him like 10, 15 minutes to finally reply.
Yes, 80%, Mr. Krabs. If you don't believe 80%, then you suck. And for the Bees 2024 saying, I was thinking the same thing, didn't want to be Aucklanded, had to go plant zinnias in the garden at halftime and come back. Listen,
And somebody asked what the reply was. The reply was, bruh, all this possession PSG has is killing me.
Yeah.
That was the reply like 15 minutes later.
Yeah. It really sucked to watch. Like, because you're watching the team and they're literally just back on their heels the whole time. Like, it was rough.
But that Hakimi goal, that fourth goal, they stopped because at first they were bunkering down, playing a deep back line, a low block. They were like, you're not going to get this. But by the time they were up 3-0, they pushed up a little bit. They gave them room to run in behind. And that's how that fourth goal happened. They were giving them opportunities then to make those line-breaking runs where they could receive those balls. And that's what started happening because they started extremely defensive. And when they said, well, they scored 2 anyway, then they started pushing up a little more. And that's when we started seeing those quick runs and those lob passes in.
Before I ask you how you felt after the first half, Xavier is saying, I'm getting tired of Messi dropping dimes and Suarez and Allende not capitalizing. First of all, I don't think that Allende had a great opportunity as much as Suarez had.
Allende has had his opportunity, not just this game, but just Allende. The thing with Allende is that he is our only vertical threat. So that's why we kind of give him a pass. Because if you take him out, you got nothing. I mean, unless you put Fafa in, I guess. But that's our only vertical threat. But Suarez is, man. He had a chance there. And when I saw that ball coming in, and it was going to land on Suarez, I was like, he has to finish. I was like, we got one. That's literally, right? In the half a second, in my mind went that fast. Like, oh, we got one. You got to finish this. And he didn't even get a shot off. Oh, man, that was frustrating. So, yes, I still think that Suarez is quite the football mind to have on the pitch. I love the fact that he's so good mentally, the runs he makes, the play he makes without the ball. But, man, it's gotten to the point where we need him when he is on the ball to finish. Because to be a overall, striker, you need to finish, and he hasn't been able to do it consistently, unfortunately.
So how'd you feel after the first half? Like, are we going to get Aucklanded?
I was worried that they might score more than 5. Look, maybe I didn't say it on the show. I think I might have. My goal was to not look worse than Inter Milan. I was like, do not lose by more than 5. And I know that might be like, oh, wow, that's horrible. That's literally what I was thinking. I don't know if I ever said it on the show. I just said I want to be competitive, I want to score. But that's what I want. I did not want to lose by more than 5. Inter Milan, a very respected club, made it all the way to the Champions League final. They lost 5-0. Atletico Madrid just got done losing 4-0 like 2 weeks ago to this PSG side. Keep it under 5. That was my goal. So
the Galf Wong is saying, honestly, not a bad bar to set. And people agree with you.
Yeah.
And what?
The way that the math probably did. You know why? Because in the second half they took the foot off the gas. Like, I didn't watch the whole game for the Inter Milan, the Champions League final. Once it was like 2-0, 3-0, I stopped watching because you knew what was going to happen. But watching this second half, although we technically looked better, you could also tell that PSG took if you watch the first half, if you just watch the second half, you're like, oh, it's a good game. Inter Miami's playing decent. But if you watch the first half and then the second half, you can tell PSG like took their foot off the gas a little bit.
So we start the second half, Danny. Luckily, there's no goals on their side, but unfortunately, there was no goals for our side either. We did see some better movement within the players. Like Segovia was. I love the way that Segovia has been playing with Messi and with Jordi Alba. You could tell that he's getting a little bit more comfortable with it. But like there were times where I saw Segovia moving the ball up and like nobody was around him. Like there was a play where he crossed it and then Allende almost got a header in. There was no one nearby him. He had to like bail to the corner and try to cross it into somebody in the middle. So there was a little bit more cohesion with the team in the second half, I guess.
Yeah, like I said, and PSG was giving them room to even bring the ball up because in the first half they had a hard time just to get into their own half. But yeah, and they were also being more aggressive, more direct passes. Messi was getting on the ball much more in the second half, which in the first half, Messi he barely touched the ball in the first half. So it was nice to see Messi got involved. And like somebody said that you brought up a comment, it does suck to see Messi creating for others and that they just can't just do the rest themselves.
Yeah, man. It really is, especially when you see that he gives good passes to, like, for example, to a Segovia or Allende, and then Allende has a bad touch, right? And then all of a sudden, we're back on defense for another 4 or 5 minutes. Shout out to Kevin Hernandez with the Super Slam here. Oh, I was gonna put the Solana drop. Yeah, Kevin Hernandez, thank you so much, man, for the 199 Super Slam. Much appreciated. And guys, if you haven't checked it out or anything, check out that video that we did with all the goals and stuff. Like and subscribe. It's been a good week. We've been out here doing a lot of videos and stuff. So much appreciated. Thank you guys for hanging out with us.
I know, just a random thing. I didn't realize that last week in 5 days we dropped 7 videos. Yeah, man. We were out. We did a lot last week, but it was a fun week. Talking about the 80%, keeping a little hope alive.
Listen, I had hope, regardless of who we're gonna play. I'm still gonna tell you that it's always gonna be 80% for me. Right here,
nobody's gonna watch this show expecting real football talk. If you're just gonna say, if we play against the Argentine national team, 80% we're gonna win.
80%. I mean, I'm giving you the Homer view, right? I mean, I can give you the whole analytical, like, robot, we have a 34% chance, like, okay, fine. If that's what you want, okay, I'll give that to you guys.
Or just the realistic take.
Okay, I'll give you a realistic take, and then maybe I'll drop something at the end to bother you. So, one, I don't know if this is it. Messi got humiliated by his ex-team. I mean, clearly, Messi is not playing with
the only people that are looking at this as a humiliation for Messi are Messi haters. That's it. If you're not I need to find a reason to talk crap about Messi. If you're not that person, nobody's looking at this like, oh, Messi got humiliated.
Yeah. I don't know. All I'm saying is that look, Lightning is saying 101%. I could see that percentage working out. And listen, Rubita, you're not wrong. Freedom the Dream is Inter Miami's slogan. So Danny, is there anything else that you kind of want to go over in this game? Any sort of like, I guess, bright, things to look at?
Well, I don't know about bright spots. What could you think of a bright spot that you would bring up for this game?
I mean, Allende had a shot on goal.
He had a header that had a chance. Messi also had a header that I thought had a chance to hit the back of the net.
Yeah.
That Donnarumma got his fingertips on.
And shout out to Kevin Hernandez here with a Super Slam. And Segovia is going to Real Betis to replace Anthony, I guess. I don't watch Real Betis to give you any information about that.
That's the team that Cucho's on.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. I haven't heard anything about that, but
Rohan.
And by the way, the price tag that they put on Segovia was like 20 million.
Dude, let me tell you, he's the way that they're projecting him is like a Diego Gomez 2.0. And to be
Well,
honest, he
he hasn't.
doesn't bring
He
the
hasn't.
same thing.
Well, he hasn't showed it yet. I think the potential's there, but a price tag of 20 million, you can't expect to sell him until like the end of next year
Yeah.
because
I could see, you could see.
20 mil right now. No, that's I can't see it.
Look, I can't see it either, but I mean, he does have skill. He's really skillful with the ball. He would be a really good 10 for a team. Unfortunately, he's a 10 for this team, which already has a king 10. So Danny, I mean, I don't know. Bright spots. We had more than 30% possession, which
Bright
is more than
spots,
other teams in this tournament against PSG.
That you could see Messi was trying his ass off to get in there. The way he was dribbling, there was one that he's like slipped. I wasn't sure if that was on him or the pitch. And
Yeah.
another thing we could touch on that I don't think we've talked about at all. People are criticizing the tournament overall a lot. I don't know if you saw like the weather delay yesterday for the Chelsea game. They had a weather delay of almost 2 hours, and it was literally just to finish like the last like 10 minutes of the game.
Was that at MetLife?
That
Or
was
in Orlando?
I think it was in North Carolina. I think it was in Charlotte.
Because Orlando had a really bad like weather delay.
They've had a couple weather delays over in the tournament so far, and people are killing the United States for it. Now, I'm not sure if in other countries they play through lightning, and maybe somebody from another country that maybe is watching live can tell us. But like here, usually when there's lightning, they kind of call the games.
I shout out to Exact Moy with a super slam over here, Danny. Says Busquets is a huge issue for us. He is so slow that you have to be careful who you pair him with. I would not bring him back next year. He did the same thing against Vancouver in the away game.
I think that's a great
shout out
comment.
to you, Exact Moy.
Because Busquets is when he has a pass, you can tell he's pinpoint passing, but the reflex are slower. He can't defend. As much as I like Busquets, and I think that when he's on his game, he's great. I wouldn't want him back next year either. Next year, I hope that Messi stays, obviously, and Jordi Alba. But I'm okay with Busquets and Suarez kind of riding into the sunset.
So I decided to chat GPT how many players have been struck by lightning playing soccer. And the last one was actually in 2025. 4 female players in Colombia died sheltering under a tree. That kind of sucks. And shout out to Thuck with a super slam, $5 super slam.
Wasn't Thuck the one that said Black for the funeral?
I believe so. Fully fit Ruiz, Frey, Bright, Crema, Allen would have made this game more competitive. Our academy players are fearless. That's one way to look at it. I mean, it sucks to have lost Noah Allen. It sucks to have lost Noah Allen in this game.
Yes, absolutely. That does suck.
So
I hate that we lost Noah Allen.
Not that many people. There's been 7 confirmed deaths with lightning strikes during soccer games. It says it's extremely rare. So I guess the trick is to start playing through lightning strikes. Shout out to Ricardo Alarcon with a super slam. We needed to have a perfect game, and we did not at all. And they could not have any mistakes, and they were perfect. We are slow and careless with it. We were a little careless in the beginning.
As soon as you saw it, they had that mental lapse on that first goal. You kind of figured, like Rich said, they need to have a perfect game. And as soon as you saw that mental lapse, you're like, okay, they're not there. They're not there, and it does suck. But, now it's time to turn our attention to the second half of the MLS season. Because after this run, I have a feeling that the fans are thinking a little more like, all right, F it. We did this decent. We did decent. I don't want to say good. We did pretty well in the Club World Cup. Let's go and then just demolish every MLS team since we kind of stood up against the big boys around the world. But those MLS teams are going to hold that low block, and we still haven't seen that they can beat that. So it's going to be interesting moving forward to see what this team does against those teams.
So, I mean, I guess at this point we should just get into the standouts, the que penas, and the man of the match other than Messi. And Francisco Garcia saying, "I hope organize a PGA tournament here in
Bogota.
Bogota, and
Bogota.
half the time, yeah, Bogota. Sorry, and half the time we have had to stop due to lightning. PGA rules." Got a brain
And a lot of
fart
people
there.
were
Jeez.
blaming the U.S. for those stops. I would assume that FIFA has something to do with that also.
I
But
mean, what is it like? Whenever there's a lightning strike in the area, you have to stop for 30 minutes.
within 8
Like-
miles, I think it is, or 5 or 8 miles, something like that.
That's a big range.
Oh.
All right, standouts, Danny. If we had to go to our
Study.
squad, so Ustadi is the standout.
I think Ustadi had a decent game. Messi, I thought, created some chances for some other people. They didn't capitalize, and I'm sure that Messi wanted to get at least one. I really hate for him that they started playing or becoming a little more dangerous once they're already down 4-0.
Yeah.
Because I know for him, because even though it's unfair, I think it's really unfair that people look at this as like, oh, Messi gets humiliated. Messi gets embarrassed. Like, Messi has no bearing on the result because playing against such a good team, it's our defense that needs to stand up. It's only so much he can do from where he's standing. And you go down 3-4-0, like, what do you want Messi to do? So, and I'm not here to defend Messi. Like, there's plenty of people that do that already. But I think it sucks that people are like, oh, I already saw Will from MLS Moves. You know, I go on the show, he comes on ours. But it annoys me so much that I saw his stupid little thumbnail and it says humiliated with a picture of Messi. That shit annoys the hell out of me.
Like, you should have done more, Messi.
So, but I know why he does it, right? Like, oh, it's gonna get clicks, especially from people that want to listen to him, and they're gonna be like, oh, you're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about. So I know why he does it, but it still annoys the hell out of me. Like, Messi can't be talked down to about this. Messi has never gotten eliminated in a group stage in a tournament before. Messi went ahead and he led this team to beat Porto the first time that an American team beats a European squad in a competitive match.
That's right.
Like, come on. Like, it's so annoying that people are going to take this and run with it just because they want to talk crap.
Well, shout out to Exact Moy again with the super slam here.
Oh, I got it.
We got. Also, we have no ball playing defender except Allen. Toto Falcone and Lujan are all horrible on the ball, and we are stuck with them on long contracts.
And Dennis said, I told you MLS Moves do is a bump. I like MLS Moves. No, I'm not talking bad about him. I understand why he's doing it. I just hate that. And he's not a Messi hater. He actually, most MLS fans hate him because he talks so well about Inter Miami. I'm just saying, in general, people are just going to start talking crap about Messi, and it's so dumb.
Yes.
It's just so dumb.
And they're going to say he should have done better.
Yes, and look at the team. And then Messi fans, and I'm sure there's some here watching, like, oh, I hate that he's wasting his career here in Inter Miami. Like, there's so many people I dislike right now.
Playing with Noah Allen. How dare you?
Like, just enjoy the fact that Messi hasn't retired. He's still balling, and he's gonna hold the trophy at the end of the year.
So I'll give you my standouts. My standouts in this game in particular, I'm going to give it to Segovia. I think that he stood out pretty well. I think that he was pretty good under pressure. Aside from Segovia, maybe Weigand. I mean, he's just out of class on the right side.
No, I wouldn't say he was a standout in a positive way, but I just don't think that anybody would have done well there.
Yeah, but I'm giving Segovia a little bit of a tilted scale here because anybody there could have gotten cooked. But Chelo Weigand, I think I'm going to give him someone that I think has played pretty good for this tournament. So Chelo Weigand and Segovia, I'll give him a standout.
Well, you know what? I give Weigand a standout. What's that guy's name? Varshkelia or something like that? Number 7 PSG. He's a beast, and Nuno Mendes is a beast. But Weigand, although he was getting cooked, he was being very physical with them. He smacked them up once. Yes. He took a knee to the ribs of a Nuno Mendes.
No, he's got no problem.
Yeah. So look, yes, Chelo Weigand is not a world-class right back. I've said it a much time. I think he's a good MLS right back, and he's also the kind of guy that you want because he is physical. So even though he's getting cooked, he's gonna make you feel it. And Varskelia, whatever his name is, he got thrown to the ground a couple times, got smacked in the face. Nuno Mendes, the ball got by, he didn't get by. He took that yellow card without a problem. He basically just body checked him. So yes, standout football wise, no. But you know what, Cello, respect, because you were getting cooked, but you were making them feel yours also.
Yes. No, those are my standouts. Like I said, with Que Pena, I think in this kind of game, I think it's hard to be able to give someone a Que Pena. Like, clearly, like, I feel like as a team, we just didn't do as well. Mr. Manny is saying Beckham has 21 million. Let him get a striker and some good center backs.
It's not that simple, unfortunately. We only have 3 positions in which we can use that money at will.
Yeah.
Messi already has one of those. Busquets has the other. And then Jordi Alba, supposedly, it got bought down because he got that extension now. So it's not as high anymore. So he's not the peak. But you can't just go ahead and just spend money on center backs and on strikers. Like, unfortunately, that is the downfall to this league, is that you can't just spend that will. You can't just bring anybody that you want.
Well, Danny, we got a super slam we forgot to get to over here. Shout out to Cringe for the $4.99 slam.
Shout out to Cringe.
We need to stay focused and hit the MLS season hard. I think the priority is Leagues Cup. What do you think?
I think the priority is MLS Cup, but I do think that they're going to try to win the Leagues Cup, because after the showing that they had this tournament, try to win anything possible now. And I saw some people talking crap. They're like, "Oh, Inter Miami sucks. They're like in 6th place in the MLS." Just to be clear, because we were in this tournament, we're in 6th or 5th place in the East right now, and in the league we might be in the 6th place. But that's because everybody has like 4 games in hand on us right now. Like, we have played only 16 games, where everybody else is at 19 and 20 games. So everybody needs to take a little bit of a chill. I'll tell you right now, Miami at the moment is in 10th place with 29 points. But we have 3 games in hand on the Supporter Shield leading Philadelphia Union, and we have 4 games in hand on the 3 teams that are behind them in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place. Like, we're in good shape.
Absolutely.
And then Vancouver, that everybody's like, "Oh, Vancouver's the best team by far." And I had a feeling that they would crash out after they got eliminated in the Champions Cup. They are in 5th place.
Big time crash out.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to Paul Veloz with a super slam. And I'm going to go ahead and put the clip that I wanted to put.
Hey, a llorar el cuartito, amigos. A llorar el cuartito. Chao. Así es.
Paul Veloz says the squad needs reinforcements. I think that this window is going to be helpful because, I mean, people are down. And I think that we need to get, obviously, reinforcements.
Somebody will come in.
Yes. I do feel like something is going to happen.
I feel like people expect too much from these reinforcements, and you can't expect too much. And look,
it's very tough.
The roster that we have right now, the roster, looking at it on paper, is the best in the league. It's the best in the league. I get it, but it's the best in the league. So,
well, as far as Que Pena, like I was saying, I don't want to give anybody in this game a Que Pena. I want to give the MLS the Que Pena here. If we would have a little bit less of a restriction in the league, right, in terms of the salary, right? And I don't want an infinite, salary, like no cap. I do think that having a cap is good.
So do
but
I.
I think that keeping the cap where it's at right now doesn't give us the opportunity to be able to bring better quality players for tournaments like this, where we're facing against teams that have a $600,000 billion salary cap. I mean, not salary cap, but salary. So you get the Que Pena MLS, Don Garber.
I'm gonna go. Let's see, Que Pena. I'm gonna give 1 to Suarez
for not putting away that Messi pass.
Yes, because that would have been that. If this game ends 4-1. Yes, he's still bad, but you feel a little better. I'm sorry, you score 1, you feel a little better. Okay, we lost by 3, but and then my other Que Pena goes to
80%.
KVD. I don't care how optimistic you are. If you would have said this is a 50-50 game, that would have been extremely optimistic because you knew that this team was far and away better. So if you would have said 50%, we'd have been like, Chris, you're crazy. But I would have respected that because you were like, we got a chance. But to come out
80%.
Get banned out all day, Mr. KBD, because that was just ridiculous. So the get banned out goes to Mr. KBD, Christian Duran, because that was ridiculous.
That's uncalled for, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, it's disrespectful, okay, to give me the que pena for the 80%.
Yeah.
I felt that in my heart and soul.
Nice. You got to fix that. All right. And then right here, man of the match, other than Messi, I don't know if there is one. I'll give it to Ustari, even though he got 4 in. I thought he saved us a couple times. But I thought Messi was it. He was the one creating for everybody else, and people just couldn't do anything with it. Oh, I don't think we went over it. How did you feel when Messi got that free kick in the 85th minute when Luis Suarez got fouled on top of the box? Because I was like, this is it.
We're getting it.
Please get one. Get one and get your goal. I really thought that might go in.
Yeah, I was super excited for it because I felt like we were going to get the goal that we needed to feel somewhat, I don't know, some positivity other than what we're sitting in right now in a 4-0 loss. And Juan Oliveira says, KBD, can I move in? I bet my house on Miami because of your 80%. Listen, where I am right now, I'm not going to be here in the next couple days because I bet my house on the 80%. So you will see me back in that jail dungeon again.
Mr. Krabs said, man of the match of the Messi is Messi. That's what I was saying. Yeah, Messi's the only one that I thought really stood out. And then maybe Ustari, because I thought Ustari saved us a couple times. But yeah, there was one also that was saved off the line. So, no, I didn't say trying. That did.
He's saying he's the only one trying.
Oh, I didn't read that part. There was a goal where it looked like it might go in, and it got cleared on the line. Who was it that cleared it? Do you remember?
Are you talking about today's game?
Yeah. I can't remember. Oh, it was offside. Okay, but there was something that got cleared off the line.
So Thuck PC2D is asking with a super slam here. Do you think Inter Miami will be back in Club World Cup in 4 years?
They have to win
the MLS
Cup. The Champions Cup they have to win.
Okay. You don't think MLS Cup is going to be a part of the qualification?
It never was.
I know, but since they're going to be extending it to 40-something teams in the next tournament.
Have they said that? They already said that if it's going to get extended.
No, it's not guaranteed, but it's something that's been floating around there, yes.
Yeah, if they stay with the same format, they'd have to win the Champions Cup. For those of you that don't realize, Seattle Sounders, the reason they were in it is because they actually won the Champions Cup a couple years ago. Yeah. It was the first MLS team to do that since 1999, I think it was, when DC United did it. So that's why they were in it, and we'd have to win that. Now, do I think it's impossible? No. But, I mean, we already lost our first chance, which was this past Champions Cup, which was it that won it? Cruz Azul. So yes, Cruz Azul is already in it. It's already in it for 4 years from now. So we'll see. But
I mean, Jason Luna is chiming in saying all I got from this game is we are on the same level as Atletico Madrid.
I like the way you think.
That's acceptable.
That's math.
That is math. And for me, the man of the match, other than Messi, I'm going to give it to Ustari. I think Ustari played not only a great game, as best as he could, but he had a really good tournament. So, man of the match, Ustari. I mean, think about it. I saw Ustari go down, and I'm like, is it Rocco time? It would have been Rocco time.
When he went down, and it was one of our own players that ran into him. But yeah, when I saw oh no, Rocco, I was like, oh no. I got worried for a second. I was like, oh no. Yeah.
That would have been so bad. I mean, or it would have been really good. I mean, Rocco's a stellar player.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
And then shout out to
Russ Faithar.
That's much appreciated.
Yeah, for sure, man. And this would have been really good. Would have been good if Noah Allen didn't get subbed out for sure. That sucks.
Yeah.
Sucks
It
for him.
It sucks for him, and then especially for the team in general, because we're about to go into the second half of the season, and luckily we start the season against what you would call soft opponents, I guess, with Montreal, then New England Revolution, which Chris is supposed to go to that game. I don't know if you still are, and then Nashville.
No, I don't think I'm going to be going.
Okay, so it's Montreal, which is soft, New England, pretty soft, and then you have Nashville, which has been inconsistent, but they've been better as of late. I think they're like third or fourth in the Supporter Shield all of a sudden. But you have teams that you probably could and should beat to at least the first two games to start the season. So we'll see. I think that we can get the ball rolling and start feeling really good about this team very, very soon.
Yeah,
so we'll see.
Sure.
All right. Final thoughts. Well, before you get to your final thoughts, so a quick reminder: on Tuesday, we're not going to be recording Battered Herons tomorrow. Las Garzas en Español will be on tomorrow night a las 10 at 10 o'clock with Xavier Lavos and Solana and all of them. So that's going to be tomorrow night at 10. But Battered Herons in English won't be back until Tuesday at 9 o'clock, where we'll be celebrating July 1st, 2025 is our 3-year anniversary from our first episode. That was July 1st, 2022. So 3-year anniversary. I can't believe it's been 3 years already, and we appreciate everybody that's been riding with us for the last 3 years, especially those that were here from the very first couple of episodes, which is really cool. So shout out to you guys. And Juan Gonzalez said we should call it Las Garzas Tristes. That's not a bad name. So it's going to be a 3-year anniversary. We also have a special guest for those of you that have been watching Inter Miami from the start like we have. It'll be a fun guest. So, so just look out for Tuesday night, 9 o'clock. It'll be a fun 3-year anniversary episode. Yes, we're 3 years old. So, And you know how I'm going to start the show?
How?
I'm just going to throw up the starting 11 from our first episode. Like, that's what we were talking about on the very first episode. Bam! There you go. Bryce Duke. We're like, the 10 of the future.
The future 10.
So you can see how far we've come in at least just the 3 years that we've been doing this show. Because I remember, if you go back, and all of those shows are still available, if you guys want to just go back and laugh, the very first episode is still available. It's not under the live tab, it's under the video tab. And you go back, we have like a good chunk of the show. We're just talking about Bryce Duke and how good he is and how he's the future. And Robbie, and that's when we coined Robbie Taylor as Name Our Light.
Yes.
So go ahead. 3 years. Be celebrating that on Tuesday. It should be fun. And on Saturday for the Montreal game, we are possibly we've been having a back and forth about should we have a watch party, should we not. We're still trying to get a little more feel from the chat and people that possibly could go and would go. So we'll see, and maybe we'll probably have a decision done by Tuesday if we will. If we don't know if it's too short a notice. If not, we'll do it for later this month. But we do want to have a watch party. I think it'd be fun to watch a game with everybody and just have a good time. And wherever we go, we'll make sure that we talk to them, talk about having some drink deals or food deals wherever we're at. So, so that's it. Final thoughts, Chris.
We're done with this tournament. It's time to look forward to the MLS, and I think that we're making the right swing. So I'm ready. I'm ready to play against some MLS teams again. I'm ready.
Sean Collins said better have time. Should we invite random people that have been big on our show for the last 2 years? Tommy would be one of them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Tommy would be probably one of the first in line. We'll have to go over that.
Would there be anybody else though? Outside of Solana and Xavier and the obvious ones that are already part of the show.
Well, I mean, we'd have to look at some of the first guests that we've had on. I say, I don't know. Probably. I mean, we're gonna have to go through the Rolodex here, Danny. We got a lot of people we can get on.
I hit a Mike Marinelli a couple of times, and he doesn't want to come on, unfortunately.
Oh man, he was
He was our second guest ever.
Yeah, Calypso. We can get Calypso. He was our first guest.
He was the first guest. Yeah, so it'll be a fun time.
I've been working on this, Bruno, for a while. Find and invite Fridge Guy. Guys, I need the crack staff out there to look for Fridge Guy.
Yeah. 3 years, man. A lot of fun. A lot of inside jokes. I was going through my storage yesterday, and I came across the Kissing Sisters shirt, and that was one of our first little inside jokes here on the show, which was a fun time also. I had never heard that term, and I thought Chris just randomly made that up mid-show. So yeah, a lot of fun times.
We're gonna have Branton and Mike Longan on.
Yeah, we gotta have Brandon and Mike, Todd, Justin.
Todd.
Todd the God, Justin Blair's another good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then that would end up being an extremely long show. But
Yes,
whatever.
it would.
We'll have a good time. I mean, we have to give our guest some time also. We do have a guest.
Course. Yeah.
And Pizarro is not our guest. All right, Chris, any final thoughts? Oh, you said the tournament is over. Focus on
that's
the half
it.
of the year.
MLS time.
That's it. And that's it. I got nothing
Time to
else.
head
So
out.
if you're listening, yeah. I'm gonna go celebrate my daughter. My daughter's birthday's tomorrow, so we're gonna start celebrating that today. So happy birthday to her. If you're watching on audio, appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please give us 5 stars, comment, review, all that good stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. And as always, for those of you in the chat, we appreciate you hanging out with us for the last 3 years. We'll be reminded that Chris can't hoop. Yes, we're gonna set up a basketball. We're gonna set up a soccer and a basketball game for everybody to come on and just play with us. I think it'll be a fun time. And again, the chat, you guys are awesome. We appreciate you hanging out with us for the last hour and 6 minutes. And we'll be back on Tuesday for our 3-year anniversary and tomorrow night for Las Garzas en Español. So until the next one, have a good one.